Superheroes are false gods, commanding an aura of worship by utilizing demigod-level powers, while the unwitting constantly buy and sell idols bearing their images, despite them being morally vague. And also, hello, my name is Titus Constantine. Superman, Thor, Wonder Woman, and so on. Superheroes in the popular consciousness are well known for their superhuman abilities or equipment which allows them to, quote, save the day from whatever villain of the week threatens the peace in the big city. Sometimes this threat goes far beyond a simple bank robbery and threatens the lives of the dwellers of the city or even the entire planet. However, what many superhero fans merely see as civil respect for their local heroes more often than not is actually worship or veneration. In this video, I aim to prove on several grounds that the reverence commanded by superheroes is not far off the veneration demanded by the numerous pre-Christian pagan deities such as Moloch and Zeus, also known as false gods. I'll respond to the first objection many viewers may be making. If it weren't for superheroes like the Avengers, the villains would have destroyed the world. It's only thanks to them that we're still alive today. Of course, this question only refers to the context of the superhero media, unless the individual making this point believes in superheroes as a point of reality, in which case I advise them to log off and take their schizo meds and cyanide. Regardless, in the majority of these cases, the so-called world-destroying supervillains were attracted to the planet by the mere presence of the world-making superheroes. These villains may not have even existed or posed a threat if not for the superheroes themselves.
Also, a hero doing a good deed does not invalidate them doing a bad deed. It does not matter that Baal brought fertility and rain to the Phoenician people and protected them from Mot. He is still a false god. This is especially apparent in the cases where entire buildings are leveled in the fight against evil, and the very act of saving the world causes enormous harm, sometimes even greater than the threat they are trying to prevent. Finally, the godlike powers of superheroes answer to no one. In some cases, their subjective, well-meaning actions have unintended consequences that create new problems and strengthen existing ones. St. Augustine's view on the topic can be summarized thus: the greatest evils are done by people trying to do good without God's help.
I'll take a brief aside and make two exceptions to the rule: Batman and Spider-Man. If I were any more into superheroes, these would be my two favorites. Batman is simply a man, nothing more, and he knows it. Spider-Man is just a kid coming to terms with his identity. Neither of them plaster their faces on billboards, and neither of them command worship. Any comments about the multiverse will be ignored.
Let's start with their powers. Superheroes possess what can only be described as demigod-level powers. They can fly like Mercury, control the elements like Poseidon, read minds like Athena, and even bend time like Kronos. These aren't just skills, they're abilities that historically would have been attributed to gods. With the exception of Thor, most are not literally divine, but they are still far above ordinary mortals, which places them in a unique position, one that's ripe for worship.
Speaking of worship, I'm thinking about the propaganda that the movies display, saying in effect that these demigods are the only people standing between you and being ruled by an evil space overlord and having your planet destroyed, just as the Phoenicians would believe that Baal was the only thing standing between them and the evil god Mot, or starvation. It's clear that in these stories, superheroes are more than just protectors. They're saviors, Christ figures. They're meant to take the place of Christ. Their argument would go something like, while S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers are actually getting stuff done to defeat Thanos, the Christians are praying in their churches doing absolutely nothing. This is a great tool that helps them undermine established religions to make way for the religion of the future, in the words of Father Seraphim Rose. And just like the false gods of ancient times, superheroes have their own effigies. Today, we buy and sell idols in the form of Funko Pops, action figures, and statues. It's eerily similar to how idols of false gods like Baal were bought and sold in the Old Testament. Revelation 9:20 reads, "They did not stop worshiping demons and idols of gold, silver, bronze, stone, and wood, which can neither see, nor hear, nor walk." These modern-day idols are displayed in homes, offices, and even places of worship. They're not just toys. They're symbols of something greater, and frankly, I'm surprised that they aren't making Moloch Funko Pops yet.
Finally, superheroes are known to be morally flexible, just like the old gods. It's no secret that in the Avengers movies, the Avengers didn't all get along. They argued, they picked sides, and they even fought each other. It's the same way with the false gods. In the Greek myths, for example, half the time Zeus was known for being the exemplar of the gods, the big one you offer incense to if you need something done. The other half, well, he tortured Prometheus for years until Heracles saved him, and we know what he did to Europa and other women without their consent. Pick any other god from a pagan pantheon, and you'll no doubt come to similar conclusions.
I realized this in the middle of recording, but I believe there's a one-to-one parallel with how the superhero canons are flexible, just like the canons of the ancient gods. There was no vetting process to identify what was and wasn't genuine Horus myth. Anyone literate can write new Horus lore. In the same way, comic Superman, TV Superman, movie Superman, all the so-called multiverses or iterations of Superman, they are all Superman. Is he good or evil? I don't know. Is Ishtar good or evil? It's darn near impossible to know. Just something to think about the next time you watch your favorite hero save the world. Thank you for watching.